Hey guys, Eric here. I am with the WWE Champion. I'm not going to say it with the flair you
And
guys
why not?
do. I'm sorry.
And why not?
I just feel like I won't deliver.
Sir, you gotta have enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying? I was on Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins' toy show the other day too, and the same thing. Everyone wants to breeze by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I waited 11 years to have this championship, guys. We got to embrace this.
We do.
You know, enthusiasm. Your WWE World Heavyweight Champion!
Kofi Kingston!
Yeah, we're not going to be able to say that forever, so while we can, we got to, to the heavens, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'll get to Comic-Con in a minute, but yeah, you're mentioning the belt, the 11 years.
Yeah.
How freaking trippy and amazing has this year been? Because I was at the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
And, it's a fun event, but it was like right before everything really started to shift for you.
I hope I don't get too emotional like talking about it, but just literally stars aligning. I believe that everything happens for a reason. So for me to come to WWE, if I were to have won the WWE Championship earlier in my career, this wouldn't have meant nearly as much. You know, the 11-year journey. Gosh, the president of Ghana, where I was born, declared this year as the year of return, where he invited all members of the Ghanaian diaspora to come back to Ghana and get reacclimated with the motherland. Out of all the years that he could have chosen, he chose this year. It happens to be the year that I win the WWE Championship. Out of all the opponents that I could have had, it happened to be Daniel Bryan, who was in the very same position that I was in just 2 years earlier, where the fans were demanding that he be on WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? So stars just aligning. Even, and my grandmother was over there, my mom's mom, who I hadn't seen probably in 27, 28 years when she came to the United States. I got to see her, and she ended up passing away like 2 weeks after I saw her. You know what I'm saying? So and then on top of that, we were gonna shoot so we did like a documentary on the whole journey, and we were gonna go in August. We ended up moving it up to July, to June, and if we hadn't moved it up, I would have just missed seeing my grandmother. So so many things, it's been so serendipitous in so many ways. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
You mentioned Daniel Bryan. It's such a rare thing when you have something that just this organically, this sort of fan-driven. So when you were in the middle of it, even before Mania, was it just sort of like, whoa, just feeling that wave, feeling like, no one planned it. It wasn't like a calculated thing. Just be like, wow, they are really behind me right now. It
was insane in Houston. Actually, even before Houston, with the Elimination Chamber, with the Gauntlet match, it triggered something in me, and I'm like, nah, this is the moment that I've been waiting for. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Almost offended that you would even ask me that, for me to get to this point and be so close, and you're telling me to walk away? Yeah, it's a story, but it's not, because it's a legitimate 11-year journey. I've never had the chance to wrestle for the WWE Championship, So then the fans started to feel that too, and I could just feel the crowd come alive, and they're like, yeah, wait a minute, this isn't like a storyline. He actually had to wait over a decade for this moment. We want this for him. And then everybody just was just infused with this energy, and we all together started just marching towards WrestleMania. And
New Day has such a great entrance, and you guys have a really good theme, but I have to say, selfishly, I kind of love the old SOS theme, and I wonder, might he come out once to it and during that?
You know what the funny thing is a lot of people say that, and I always say, hey, if you want it, number one, you can go on the Spotify or iTunes and download it and listen to it at your will, or go on the WWE Network and watch all the throwback matches, but I can't go backwards. We actually had, for WrestleMania, we were in the process of getting an original song just for that night. And it was so close. Wale was going to be on it. Mega Ran, was on the beats, and it would have had a little bit of SOS in there.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, Vince didn't want to do that, so we didn't. But one of these days we'll release that song and then let everybody know what we had planned. It was just going to be so ornate and amazing. Not that it wasn't, but it was going to be something special.
So we're here at Comic-Con. You guys always have a super fun panel with Mattel. What was it like coming back here this year? Obviously, you come back in here as the champ. Yeah. How did the panel go? And what was it like again? It's a really fun vibe. Obviously, you guys got great crowds wherever you go. But I feel like the Comic-Con vibe has to be sort of a unique thing onto itself.
Absolutely. It never gets old. I've been to a few different Comic-Cons now. And even still, after getting figures for so long, you'd think that the novelty would wear off. But, like we were talking about it earlier, I'm legit on the edge of my seat, just kind of bouncing up and going down. And it's like, oh my God, oh, look at the Lucha House Party's getting their own figures. It's all detailed. Oh, look, my WrestleMania figures on there. They have this Master of the Universe and WWE collaboration going on, which that just blows my mind, right?
That is
it's insane.
So insane. I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah. Masters of the Universe, WWE mashup figures, and the New Day has Manny faces, the character Manny faces with the triple face, and it's all three.
What are we doing?
Right,
What is this life? It's just so amazing. Like I never imagined, how could I have ever thought that as a kid watching Masters of the Universe and wanting these action figures. I remember specifically I had the Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
Something happened to where it broke in half. I lost half of it for a couple years. It went back, found the other half. So I only had like the front half. So I have all these memories of He-Man and Skeletor and all these characters. And never in a million years did I ever imagine that one day I would have an action figure associated with Masters of the Universe. Like what? It's crazy.
Yeah, lastly, I wanted to ask a couple New Day questions because they, your buddies, they just won the tag belts.
Sure
so
did.
how cool is that now to have these 3 belts?
Got all the gold, baby.
Right.
Yes. And people are like, wow, well, that's silver. That's not gold. Get your eyes checked. It's white gold. It's white gold. You don't know? You don't know what it is. It's white gold. When we say we have all the gold, we know what we're talking about. Trust us. Don't argue with us on Twitter. Yeah.
New Day, to me, what's so impressive about New Day is you guys are really funny, but you definitely haven't been pigeonholed as like, they're a comedy group. It's like sometimes in wrestling, you're like, oh, that's what they do. But it's like, you guys can be really funny, but it's never in doubt that it's a credible threat, like dangerous group. Was it kind of cool for you guys to figure out like how to make that energy work? And, obviously you were heels initially and kind of figuring out where that would all go.
Well, initially we were baby faces.
That's
we
true.
were. We wanted to be good guys, but nobody was having it. Really like, no, we don't like you. You're telling us to be better, but you suck. You know what I'm saying? All we ever did was come out and tell people to be the best versions of themselves. And in this jaded world that we live in, that means that we suck. What? So then we start doing these hypocritical things and we say that, preach the power of positivity and then do these dastardly things. We talk about save the tables and we go break the tables and all of a sudden people are like, yeah, you guys rock. That's what our society is very, very jaded and strange. But we actually went back, we did like this watch along we have on our WWE network where we go back and watch one of our matches. So we watched the tag team match that we had actually at Extreme Rules versus Cesaro and Kid. And it was so interesting to watch like our mannerism, the whole journey of like finding ourselves. It's been very real. I try to, we had recently moved into our new house about a year ago and we had a party across the street and I'm trying to, explain to people what it is that I do. And like, I'm with a group called the New Day and we come out, we throw pancakes out. We had a cereal called Booty-O's. We like ice cream. We wear these unicorn horns, bright colors. I skip clap. Sometimes I'll twerk. You don't understand. None of it makes sense, So if you haven't been on the journey, like it just doesn't make sense for me to describe it to you. You have to go back and literally watch it, or you would have had to have experienced it like on the come up. But what people know now is that the New Day comes out and like you said, we go out, we have a lot of fun, we make sure everybody's having fun. But when the bell rings, we make sure that we're legitimate.
Well, you just made me think about how I can't wait to see the next evolution of the food products because you guys do an amazing job with that.
Yeah, we like breakfast.
You like breakfast. You're big on breakfast.
And these things just happen, and we just go with what the people are with, even with the whole pancakes deal. Like we had the lumberjack match, I think it was against Kevin Owens and Sam Zayn. And it was me and Big E in the match, and Woods was a lumberjack with everybody else, but he was on our team, so he was a little bit elevated. He was the chief lumberjack, so he came out wearing the flannel, and the hat. You know what I'm saying? And what do lumberjacks eat? They eat pancakes, and that was it. Everyone's chanting, "We want pancakes." The next day, we came out and asked Vince, like, "Hey, do you mind if we go out with these pancakes?" He says, "Do you wanna?" Yeah. Okay, go ahead. And then all of a sudden, here we are throwing pancakes out to the crowd. So again, another thing that just doesn't make sense. But if we didn't have that lumberjack match, I don't know. Maybe we'd be doing waffles. Who knows? And now it makes perfect sense. Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston. Thanks for joining us here today. Yes. Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me on. No problem. Thanks.